Da, 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 da. Hi, everyone. Good evening. You're welcome to Let's Discuss, where we talk about practical matters that impact on our faith and on our journey to our destiny and to heaven. Let's Discuss is a forum where we talk about the real issues, and the plan of Let's Discuss is that it wouldn't be a place of judgmental conversations or a place where another place for Bible bashing or another sermon place, but it would be a place where we can have that freedom to express ourselves and ask questions as needed. Today, we're talking about a very important topic. This topic is so important that we had to look out to get someone who is able to answer and contribute to this topic. Okay, said you can hear my humming. Let me see what's going on here because there shouldn't be any humming. Okay, okay, you could hear me humming at the beginning. Oh, that's cool. But hope you can hear me now clearly. Um, yeah, I was just humming the song. Welcome, everyone. Today, we'll be talking about a very important topic, and that topic has to do with relationship. I've just felt that this topic, we need someone who can address. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and hope it's clear enough because, like you said, I've kept the mic away so that it doesn't just show up on the screen and look huge. So welcome, Gozi. Welcome, everyone. We have a special guest today who will be taking us through this topic. The issue of relationship is so important, but what is more important is how are we growing with the relationship? How is it adding value to us? How can we grow relationship, and what part does relationship play in the overall scheme of things? Today we have a wonderful lady, Abisola Aheme. She is someone I've known for many years, not only as a friend, a colleague, but someone who is very good with relationships. I have a lot of friends who are eminently qualified to speak about this topic. But there's something about her which I'm sure we would all experience very soon. There's something about her. She has the ability to maintain and grow with relationships. So you're welcome, Abisola.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
Good
you so much
evening.
for accepting invitation as short notice.
No worries at
I,
all.
I need to stop, all this my short notice things. uh, it's always part of my New Year resolution for the past like 14 years. So maybe this will be the year. Yeah. So Abisola is someone, she's a um IT specialist. She is a powerful woman of God, a church builder, a church supporter, and someone who I, I have a few people around me who, you know, in terms of relationship, I think she's outstanding, and we want to learn from her today. So, thank you so much. Thanks for coming back to Let's Discuss. A few people should remember her. She spoke to us about 3 years ago now. How time flies. Yeah, I think it's about 3 years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, about how to overcome challenges and life challenges. So you're welcome. We want to go into this topic of relationship. What do you think about relationship? Everyone will tell you. we want to have good relationship with everybody, but it's just so hard to have good relationships with everybody. What do you advise in terms of, what's your take on relationship? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it ugly? Is it something we have to enjoy or endure? Over to you.
Thank you very much. To be
Yeah.
honest, relationships are good. They
Mm,
are you need it in every phase of your life. Either if you're at work, if you even managing your family, you need relationships. In
mm,
the workplace, you need it. If you want to get into a relationship as well, as in to have a partner or have to get married in future, you need relationships. Relationships either build or break you. They either make or marry you.
mm,
So what I've learned is that the truth of the matter is you can't get along with everybody. You just can't do it. So while you're growing up, you'd for me, what I've experienced in the last couple of years, maybe between 2020 and now, is that most of the friendships that I've built and retained over the couple of years are the ones I met either in primary school, secondary school, yes, and at work as well. Most of my friends, for example, we met nearly about 10 years ago now,
yeah.
and we built that friendship up till now. So
No.
it really, really matters. There are times where you've called me at my lowest ebb, and you wouldn't even know that this was the reason why you called me. And
Mm,
you've said something that has set the pace. So you need relationships in anything. I attended a service today now at one of the Redeemed churches in Derby, and I think the Sunday school was talking about loneliness.
mm,
Loneliness, it creeps in. It doesn't help you. You can't of your own self do anything. So we need people around you to help you. Even the ones who you think are not even as friendly as they are, or who you think might not be that good, will say one thing at some point in time that will stir something up in you that would bring out the best in you. So I always say
mm.
relationships matter. They help you one way or the other.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I agree, because one of the things I told you just before we came online as well is that whilst one knows a lot of people, I have a lot of friends, but whenever I'm down, or whenever some people call me, like when you call me, I feel uplifted. I leave the call laughing and being happy. How do you do it? Because like you said, we all need relationships. And I think a lot of people, and please put it in the chat if you agree with me, that we all agree that we need relationship. We know it's good for us. The problem is that some relationships end up being challenging, being draining, and at times you feel stuck in those relationships. At times some people call you and you are just, even if you were happy before, 2 seconds later you are sad. How does one navigate those things? Yesterday I was with a friend. I've known him since we were little. I think they were separated just by a few months. We've known each other for as long as I can even remember. Our parents are close, and we still met up almost 50 years. That we So 50 years, that doesn't mean I'm 50 and everybody. I'm still 21. But we still interact. On the same hand, I know some people that when they call me, I might even just read a psalm before I pick up their call. So how does one balance it? Is it a general challenge, or is it something that is individual?
For me, I think it's a general thing. There are some that's I tune my mind to calls that I pick. For me, if I know if I pick this call, I have a friend that if she calls me, we might stay on the call for 4 hours. So I know the time is this the best time for me to pick the call. And whenever she calls, I enjoy talking to her. But sometimes the
mm,
timing might not just be right. So at that time, I may not pick.
mm.
It's not as if I don't want to talk, but I look at it. 4 hours? Do I really want to spend 4 hours now? No. That's one. Some of them you might, oh, am I really want to talk? So there are some people like that. You just have to plan your time and your life amongst that set of friends. We all have them around us. It's learning how to manage them.
Mm.
Even at work, there are some emails that you have to prioritize. Do I want to talk? Do I want to respond to this person now? No. Because once you respond, another one question will come through. So you just learn to prioritize how you manage those friends, how you respond to them, and it's for your own sanity
Mm.
to say
Yeah.
it. It's for
Well,
your own sanity.
yeah.
That's I think
Yeah.
that's it for me.
Yeah,
Yes.
and everyone, please feel free to drop in comments. I can see. Oh, welcome. We have Pastor Helen. She's my aunt and spiritual mentor, and obviously we have my twin sister here, Ngozi.
Thank you.
So she was laughing. Maybe when I said there are some people when they call you just want to read a psalm or something. But I want to ask a question around the guilt. I know I've spoken to a few people who, and myself, whereby, like you said, there's some relationships that are quite full on and they could be quite demanding, and you want to give a bit of space. But there's also that guilt somehow that makes you feel, shouldn't I be treating everybody the same way? Uh, I don't know. So everyone, please feel free to drop in if I'm talking just by myself or if it's something you experience as well. At times there's that guilt that, the guilt of shouldn't I be treating him the way I treat other people? That's one. Then there's also another guilt, which I think a lot of people introduce, is that when some people do get across to you, they make you feel guilty for not maintaining the relationship the way they want you to maintain the relationship. So it's like they have a definition of what the relationship should be and what they're expecting. And when you don't give it to them, they stir up that guilt. I don't know if you can talk to those things. Okay, I think there are a few contributions coming in. Some people are already supporting you. So, welcome. We have Pastor Nika here. Her mic is not loud. Then Gozi said, yeah, prioritize who and how and when you want to respond.
Yeah.
So, but that guilt, does it happen to everyone or is it just me where you feel, surely I should be able to treat everybody in the same way?
It's a tricky one.
Mm.
It's a tricky one. Even even would I say even God too was partial?
Yeah.
It's if to when you have integrity, you say yes, you want to be fair on all rounds, on all
Mm.
courses. But
Yeah.
there are times you just even as siblings, you will prefer one to the other. You
Yeah.
will like one more than the, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you now show it to their face.
Yeah.
That's one. The question I also ask myself is, does that person treat me equally as well
Mm.
as I will treat him or her?
Mm.
I'll share a typical example. Before I got married, I was in a relationship with someone. And well, I would say maybe the age difference was maybe over a decade between ourselves. And based on that, I would respect him more than maybe because of the age difference. But I got to a point whereby I realized that, well, this individual might, that was my perception. He might not see it that way, that he talks to me in a condescending manner. And I would accept it that way. Maybe because I said, oh, Agbalagba, he's much older than I am. But there was one thing I realized. I sat down one day and I asked myself, does this person treat me with respect just as I do? Because it should be reciprocal, regardless of the age difference. Sometimes he will talk to me, or maybe when we're having a conversation, when he gets upset, he'll just look at me and say, "You must be out of order." Oh my goodness. I kept stomaching it. You must be out of order, Abisola. You must be out of order. I was like, on top waiting. One day, I didn't know what to do again. I just said, if I'm out of order, you are off your trolley. That was the last time I heard about Abisola, you must be out of order. So the thing about it, you need to look at it. How does this person prioritize you as well? How is it treating me, or he or she treating me the way just as I will treat him or her? It should be there should be that fair and balance to it, if you get what I mean. So yes, that was so sometimes you need to look at it. There has to be fairness, there has to
Mm,
be balance. That way you won't feel guilty that, oh, am I treating this person right or
right
wrong?
or wrong.
Yes,
No,
yes.
thank you for that because and there's been a few contributions here. So Ngozi said, so yeah, so people can really be demanding
Yeah,
and trying to play the guilt game on you.
true.
And some people, when you call them or they call you, they're always like, you've not called me, you've not called me. And I said, but I looked at my phone, I didn't see your missed calls either. And there's some people they will call, but you have other priorities and you need to focus on what's important at that point. But they take it as offense. Um, there's something I also wanted to ask as well. When those people come, what is the best way to answer them? Does one highlight the fact that, look, you can't be too demanding of me, or should one, like you said, just call a spade and let the whole thing sort itself out? Or is there like a way of having those conversations? Because there's some people, no matter what you do or you say, they wouldn't change.
Mm.
It's a sad reality. I never knew I would say this. Some years ago, I was always like, but there are some people they wouldn't change. So how does one address those ones that do we just make it very point blank that I don't appreciate this behavior, or does one avoid them? Uh,
It's wisdom because, like they say, they always have their part to play one way or the other in future.
mm,
Yoruba will say, "Ẹni burúkú máa ń lọ́jọ́ retí ẹ̀." So the
mm,
fact that they might not this before I would normally would just have hit the nail on the head and say this, but I've learned in the past to maybe to try and manage friendships,
mm,
manage
mm,
relationships, because I'm to be honest, I might not even be any better at calling people or looking for people. So when they throw those kind of things at me, I try to manage it and maybe empathize with them,
mm,
apologize, and
mm,
explain that I'm
mm.
sorry. I'm not any better as well. So if you don't if I don't pick your call, it's not as if I don't want to pick it. It's not as if I don't want to talk, but it's just the way things are at the moment. I'm also overwhelmed with my own challenges because
Yeah,
to be honest, we all have our own challenges every now and then.
yeah,
And
yeah. So there's a contribution I want us to we'll go into, but you've said
sure,
something so profound, and I think this is why we had to invite you over a lot of the others, because you said something around manage relationships, even when they are bad relationships, even when the relationship or the way the person is behaving isn't sort of like acceptable. It's about you still being polite, but still drawing up those boundaries very clearly, but not breaking it off because you don't know if in future you would need them, or
Yes.
when you break that bridge, they may not be able to climb back.
True.
We have a contribution from my special cause, Wooms. So she said, I believe there's a season for every friendship and relationship. Some people are there to propel us forward, some delay and hold back. Doesn't mean they are bad or wrong, but it's just not the right time for your season. I don't feel bad with letting some relationship go. Looking back, I had what I needed when I needed it. And thank you so much. That is so true.
Profound. Yeah.
That's so profound. It's at times it's so hard to realize that relationships at times are not meant to be permanent, and it becomes quite difficult. There are some relationships that will be there for a while. You
True.
don't, yeah. But wanted to talk a bit more about this. How does one know that one has gotten to the end of a season with a relationship? Will it be something they're doing on their side, or will it be something one is like experiencing? Um, and the reason I ask this question is that when I look at some situations I've been in personally, I realize that there are some relationships that I should have closed the door on, but I kept it open for a while. How does one know what is the right season? A friend of mine said what he does is that he, every first of the year, he picks up his phone, looks at all the numbers there, and he just deletes some numbers and just say, that's the end with this person. That's the end with this person. And he just deletes it and says, if the person is still interested in a relationship, the person now reaches out or something brings him together. But that is his way of managing relationships. So, how does one know if a relationship has gotten to the end of the road? Is it a feeling, or is it just one just starts getting uncomfortable with the whole thing?
You get uncomfortable, it gives you
Mm,
sleepless nights. Sometimes you might even have heart palpitation. You just feel uneasy. You and some for no reason. You just lose touch. You just maybe, and that doesn't mean when you see each other another time you still can't talk about. But when you start to lose your sanity, you don't have the peace of mind. You're uneasy. You don't have. You just feel upset when you just feel unhappy.
mm,
You know, definitely it's those are the red flags. It just doesn't make you. It takes the best version of you out of you. You're not the same person that you used to be. Oh, this is
mm,
not Abisola. This is not Pastor Emmanuel. This is not just me.
mm,
There and then you know that. How do you? It's difficult to let go. To be
mm,
honest, it can be difficult to let go at times. That is when you need the Holy Spirit. You can't do it on your own. You need the good support network you have. When you have good friends, you need that support network. And if you need to seek counseling, those are for me, those are the things. But you need the Holy Spirit. You need the Holy Spirit to help you. It is
mm.
always a difficult situation when you're neck deep in that relationship and it's giving you sleepless nights and you still are not able to come out of it. It could be
Yeah.
either because had you've been in it together. And sometimes it could also be God teaching you what is called patience,
Mm,
endurance. It might be you. It might be you that it might be me that doesn't have the ability to persevere, that's bringing about this uneasiness, or I might even be the cause of it. So there might be something you need to learn from it, from that relationship
mm.
that needs you to grow.
Yeah. No, thank you for that answer. It does make a lot of sense, and it's making me even reflect as I'm sitting. At times we look at the other person as being responsible for the relationship either not working out. But what you've said is profound, that it could be, you could be actually the person
Yeah.
causing the whole thing not to work, or it could be the other person, but that there's a need to be fair and to do internal reflection. No, thank you so much. That's a powerful nugget. Yeah, so if we now flip over to growing with relationships, because one of the things I always believe is that when you have a relationship and you're not growing through that relationship, maybe it's time to assess that relationship. But what I wanted to ask is that how does one really grow through relationships? Because relationship, at times, the people you're in the relationship with, it could be a friend, it could be a work colleague, they all have different focuses, different things as well. And a lot of people are busy. In this hectic world and time, how does one grow through relationships?
In my own case, I have
Mm,
different friends for different things. I have a friend where if I need to discuss about finances, she's my go-to person. If
mm,
I need to discuss about marriage or losing a loved one, I have a friend for that because why they've gone through that type of experience before. I have a friend who I say I can talk to for 4 hours over the phone. She's like my coach. Yes. So those are I have different friends for if I want to go on holiday, I have friends that I go on holiday with. So they won't be the same set of people that I would have as an all-round person.
mm.
Different we all have different friends for different things.
Wow.
If I have friends in church, maybe as prayer partners that I
Mm,
can pray together with. So they all have their own type of, would I say, skill that I. So it won't be, oh yes, this is the person I talk to for. I have them for as my need or as my like you now. We might not talk in months, but when we talk, yeah, we talk about career, we talk
mm,
about life, we talk about family. Yes.
mm.
So I have we all have them. It won't just be one person as an all-round person. No, 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 no.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. That's how I manage my own friendships.
Wow. No, thank you. That is really powerful nuggets. Uh, yeah, no, thinking about it, you are absolutely right. Everyone has what they can bring to the table,
Yeah.
and trying to have the same person attend to a lot of things which they may not be skilled or specialized in
Yeah.
is a lot of problem. No, thanks. These are some nuggets. Is anyone enjoying this? Please let us know. But there's some comments flowing in. So Ngozi said yes, and relationships can also be just meant to lead you to other people later in time. That,
Yes.
transitional relationship. And she also said that yes, important to try and keep communications to your friend in quotes. If that stops, it can mean it's time to move on. That when the communication stops, it's a logical time to know that that season has come to an end. I'd like to get other people's views as well, as how do you grow relationship? Bisola has given us some powerful nuggets here already. She's told us about managing relationships, even though when they are bad. By that, that doesn't mean manage. It could be something you need to make decisions on, but you need to ensure that it's not like a bad note. It's not like you're now fighting the person, boxing, and getting all those things. It's about making sure that you still remain on civil terms. And she said something that I've not considered myself in, the that you need to have relationship for different purposes. Thank you so much. Okay, there's a few contributions already. Yeah, so Ngozi said, well, all round friends don't exist. And I think Fasonika is trying to say something. It's not yet come true. But I want to ask two questions. A few people will laugh and say, okay, yeah, this is the questions. I want to ask about relationships within the family. Within the family. Someone said you don't choose your family, you choose your friend. But my belief is that your relationship with the family, does it go through the same thing as you've mentioned? And by relationship with family, I mean, maybe a relationship with the husband, wife, children, uncle, auntie, niece, nephew, cousins, brother, sister. Does it go through the same phase that we're talking about, whereby whilst you can be related, there might be a need to have a maybe redefine that relationship? Or I don't know if I'm talking out of turn, that with family relationship, does it mean it's a permanent relationship irrespective of how healthy it is?
That's it takes wisdom to answer this. Family wise, yes, it's
Mm,
you need. I'll use my own as an example. Blending two families together. The what I tell my husband, before I got married, my daughter had only been the one I speak to. If I need to dress up, I say, "Oh, does this look well on me?" She said, "Oh yes." But she said it recently that I noticed that you don't tell me again. You now ask, you now ask your husband for this. So, trying to balance it. And I said, well, okay, can you tell me now, can I ask both of you at the same time? It's, it's a tricky one. You just have to learn how to balance it. So
mm,
now what I do is, okay, on a Monday when I'm going to work, can I wear this to work? I'll ask her. I can ask my husband as well.
mm,
Learning to balance, bringing families together. What I tell my husband or what I tell the children will definitely differ. I don't know if I've
yeah,
explained that
yeah.
in a way, but to be honest, what I can speak to child A or kid A would definitely differ from what I speak to kid 4. When we do prayers together, we do prayers together. When we need to discuss as a family, we discuss it. But there's still different things. The way I would explain something to son A or child A would differ from the way I explain to, because they definitely their ideologies differ and the way they think and manage situations differ.
Mm,
Children wise,
mm,
family wise, I've got 4 siblings. We're 5 in number. I speak to my sister almost every weekend. My other siblings, they are far away. We might not get to speak in a month, but when we speak, so it's and when I if I need to talk to anybody, she's always my go-to person. Maybe because we are closer to each other. We live in the same
mm.
country, so it's easier for us to talk.
Talk, yeah.
But I definitely do not relate with each and every one of them the same way.
Mm.
That's for siblings. For families, extended families, there will definitely be one cousin that is closer to you than the others, maybe because of the age difference or the age gap or the level we are both are in. So it definitely differs depending on, it could be the age, it could be what you get from them, it could
Mm,
be when you speak to them you get encouragement more than the other set of families. So it's not a one size fits all.
mm.
It's
Okay,
not a one size fits all.
okay, yeah. No, thank you so much for that. Before I take more comments, I just wanted to share the link. So the speaker last week promised to share links about where people can buy US businesses. So I would share it, I would show it on screen rather than sharing so that it doesn't seem like Unbox Praise is promoting a particular business. Things like this, one just has to be a bit careful and you have to do your due diligence. The only reason I'm showing it is it was requested for by people, and the last speaker promised to share it. So the first one is, and you can take note of this, is us.businessesforsale.com, which is quite intuitive. Businessesforsale.com with US in the front. And like we said, we're not endorsing this site. We're not endorsing anything about it. Make sure you do your due diligence. I'm only sharing because it was brought up in this conversation. Notice the way I'm repeating it, because people at times in this new age of social media will just cut one part and leave all the remaining disclaimer and say, these people, they're supposed to be talking about God, the advertising site for selling business and things like that. So, which is why I'm emphasizing it. Then the second site he gave is bizbuysell.com, that for people who are interested, look through these links. We wouldn't post it so that it doesn't seem like we're sharing, links of businesses and things like that. Just wanted to share it so that we can keep to the promise we made last week that we would let you have this information. Yeah, so thank you so much. We'll be rounding up now. How time flies. But this is a very interesting topic. I wanted to even go the way of church. People know that I always like to talk about some things which at times as Christians where we don't really voice out, but we find it challenging. And it's about at times relationships with the church. I know someone, and this is a true life, who at one point felt God was leading him to move away from a church. He didn't have any issues with the church. Like you said, it's not that he ended up fighting with anyone, but he felt he needed to move on in order to get fulfillment elsewhere. When he then told people, especially members of the old church, they told him not to leave. The pastors, the other people, they were dead set against his leaving. And whilst he didn't have an issue with them before, when he now said he was leaving was when the issue now cropped up. And he left eventually, but it ended up being very messy. He ended up what he was trying to avoid, he now got drawn into full time, and it became really messy. I want to get your views on how does one close off a relationship. um, and I don't, if please put in thoughts in the chats around what you think about what I'm saying, or if you've experienced it, or you know someone who's experienced it. How does one manage relationships, especially when exiting the church? I think we'll bring you back to talk about relationships within the church. There's so many dynamics there, but when you feel that it's time to exit, how's the best way to manage it? Or do you not sort of like have those conversations? Do you just move on and like Ngozi said, cut off the communication, or do you try and do the right thing?
For me, you do the right thing. If it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go.
Mm.
Some would relieve themselves gradually of responsibilities so that it won't take a toll on the church. So if you were a worker and you were going to church maybe one every week, if you reduce it gradually, for some people they do it that way, and some just live like that. And when they leave, they sever the relationship for a while,
Mm. Mm.
just to so that to clear the air to for it for each and every party to have a breathing space. These are experiences I've seen in churches of how people live. Some people live angrily. So it's just to ease the tension and if you need to sever the friendships amongst other, because definitely church members will call you and ask you, why are you not, what happened? Is everything okay? Not because it might be out of goodwill, it might be out of gossip. So you sever that friendship for a while. If you
Mm.
know God is leading you to leave,
Mm.
and then start. With time, they will come to terms with what you want or what God has told you to do.
Amen.
It might take a while, but definitely they will come to terms with it.
Mm.
They will come to terms with it. If it's God telling you to go, why not? You
Wow.
can't stay there for you can't stay there for because you have your own vision or God has given you another vision you need to pursue.
Yeah.
So why not? Go ahead
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Okay. No, thank you so much. As since we're wrapping up, I just want to get your final views on the topic, and if you have anything to say about relationships, something you want people to go home with, something you want people to think about during the week, or it could be, any insight you have, any idea, or any story. So over to you, to just to share something with us.
Relationships are good. You need them regardless. I would There are so many of them. I'll give two instances. There was a time I was out of contract at work, and my previous line manager was somebody I had worked with. He was the one that helped me to get my next job.
Hmm.
I don't recall doing any interview, even though the contract was short, but relationship. So we have to build that relationship
Yeah.
to we need it irrespective, regardless of anything. This line manager wasn't a Christian, but because we've built that friendship, there's no person me I can. Once I like that person, I will go all out for the person. So it's you need it.
Hmm.
Relationships, regardless, Christian, non-Christian. You could be your ideologies may differ,
Hmm.
your perception about them may differ, but as long as you need it, either good or bad. You don't know who will help you. That's it.
Okay.
Relationships are good regardless of the distance. I had a friend who we went to the same secondary school together. It was through her that I met my husband.
Hmm.
Relationships far,
Wow.
regardless. So we need, and it's not because we might not talk maybe in a year, or if we talk in a year, maybe twice or three times in a year.
Wow.
But relationships matter.
Wow.
Relationships in the church help, but what I've realized is the people have who have come to understand me better or know me better are the people I knew either growing up, primary school, secondary school, workplace,
Hmm.
very few in church.
Hmm.
Very, very few in church. Very few. So if I say, okay, I've built my circle of friendship just within the church, you might be losing something.
Hmm.
If I built my circle of friends just within the workplace, you might be losing something.
Wow.
My neighbor, my next door neighbor, if they don't hear from me, They say, "Oh, I've not seen you in a while." When he's walking the dog, "I've not seen you in a while, Abby." Abby, they call me Abby. I've not seen you. Just my next door neighbor.
Mm.
So we need that friendship, irrespective, regardless,
Oh,
regardless. So
oh.
friendships, relationships, they matter. Our family matters.
Mm.
I'm not sure if
Yeah, no, thank you
Nemo has
so much.
helped. Yeah,
That's
but
really
just
powerful.
yes,
Yeah, really
two
powerful.
things.
Um,
Yes.
think I'll just take this last comment that's come through from Ngozi. She says sometimes you might have been condemned to family members at certain times, but that doesn't mean they have to be your friends. So, which is in line with what we've said about being selective in your relationship, realizing that it is you who is driving or who should be driving your relationship because it is your life. I would assume it's your life. So you need to be in charge of it. There's a hidden opportunity in every interaction. Relationships can help you, like you said. I know someone who introduced me as well to my first job. He just told me about it. Me, I was eating food. He just came to the house and said, there's an interview tomorrow, and he provided all the necessary information. If not for that relationship, I wouldn't have gotten that job. There are people who have helped me around along the way. All that is relationship. There's people we have helped as well. There are people who we would help and people who would help us. But what she said is keep an open mind, try your best, but don't crumble. Don't let relationships now cause you to be in a position where you are sad, unhappy. That's not what relationships about. Once it's time to close those relationship. It's for a season and it's bye bye. Let me move on with my life. And I want us to go with that relationships that are leaving you drained right now, relationships that are not making you stronger, relationships that are making you answer unnecessary questions, relationships where you are being broken down, relationships that have gone from bad to ugly, relationships that, like she said, that are just putting you down, that it's one way, one sided. I think you said something there around that. Is this person treating you the same way? If they are treating you a different way from the way you will treat them, it's time to assess those relationships, and God will help us make the right decision. Your relationships will determine where you get to in life. Your relationships is so important. Even God himself wants relationship with us. We human beings want relationship with everybody, but make sure it's the right one. So thank you. Once again, we want to thank our speaker, our special guests, for sharing so much and for keeping the relationship open as well. If she wasn't such a wonderful person, it would have been difficult for me to have called her 3 days before the event and say, "Oh, please, we need you to help." And she showed up. It's because of relationships. So God bless you.
I need to. I
Yeah,
need
thank you
to.
so much. God will
No
increase you.
problem at all. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, yeah. We need to see more of you. We need to
Sure.
see more of you. My senior mentor has just arrived as well. She's saying, "Good evening, everyone." Yeah. So you've joined us just when we're finishing. So thanks, everyone. Next week, we would be delving into another topic. We've talked about relationships. We're growing. We're growing. We're taking things, slowly, slowly. But next week, we're moving into a exciting area. And the topic for next week is faith in a digital age. Whether we like it or not, I see some people who go and do evangelism with tracts and sit in a corner, and they have maybe two, three people who listen to them. I understand that. I understand everybody has their calling, but it's no longer effective. We as Christians need to interact more. with our world in the digital age. How do we do that? How do we have an effective online presence? How do we have that virtual physical balance? And what are those digital tools we can use for our growth? Join us next week. We'll be having a special guest, another relationship I'll dig up. I'll call him tomorrow so that it's not 2 or 3 days before the time, so that he comes to share with us his view about having faith in a digital age and how, more importantly, how we can optimize and become more effective with our digital display of faith. So, have a great week, everyone. God bless you.
And you
And
too.
remember that God is good and God loves you. Thank you, Abisola.
Yep.
We need to see you very soon. If I will
Sure.
give you a topic so that we can see you soon. So thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful week ahead.
And
God
you
bless.
too. Take care. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Okay, so yes, it says bye, Ma.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye all.
And you will never ever change. You are the Lord. You remain the same. It's a simple chorus. You will never ever change. You are the Lord. You remain the same. Help me sing. You will never, 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 never. You are the Lord. Let your name be glorified. Oh, you will never, 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 never. The Lord, yesterday, today, forever. You are the Lord. You will remain the same. Yeah, you will never, you will never, you will never. Yeah, you are the Lord. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, you are the Lord. Yeah, you will never, 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 never. And you